Inside Donald Trump's prison cell, the surroundings are like any other small, enclosed space. The walls are gray concrete, and a narrow cot with a thin mattress is the only piece of furniture. A tiny metal sink and toilet combo sit in one corner, while a small barred window allows a sliver of natural light to filter in. The sound of clanking bars echoes through the air as guards patrol the hallway outside.
What is...
President Trump is 76 years old. He was down in federal prison.
Trump spends his days pacing the limited floor space. The once powerful man now finds himself in a place of confinement.
Just quickly going through the list, is there anybody you would add? I can think of a couple of people, JimJordan and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Do you think, we'll just take a survey on Marjorie Taylor Greene before we go any further, looking at January the 6th, that Marjorie Taylor Greene has any questions to ask, and if you had a choice, would you lock up Marjorie Taylor Greene? Just press the like button, that's all you have to do. Would you lock up Marjorie Taylor Greene for being annoying? Are you not allowed to silence your political opponents? Okay, do you have any suspicions about January the 6th with regards Marjorie Taylor Greene? JimJordan, there is so much about JimJordan in terms of time spent, money wasted, your money, having these impeachment hearings, these impeachment inquiries into the Biden family, yada, 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 do. Should JimJordan himself be investigated? Should JimJordan himself face any charges? If you think yes, press the like button.
Did you talk to the former president that day?
I've talked to the former president umpteen times, thousands. I mean not thousands times,
on January
countless
6th.
Countless times.
No, I mean on
office.
January 6th, Congressman.
Yes, I've talked to the president. I've talked to the president so many. I can't remember all the days I've talked to him.
On January 6th, did you speak with him before, during, or after the Capitol was attacked?
I'd have to go. I spoke with him that day after. I think after. I don't know if I spoke with him in the morning or not. I just don't know. I'd have to go back and. I don't know that when those conversations happened. But
so the answer is what? The answer is yes.
JimJordan called me crying, groveling on the 4th of July. Begging me to go against my brother. Begging me. Crying for a half hour. That's the kind of cover-ups that's going on there. JimJordan called me several times after that. That week, I had to have my lawyer call him, tell him to stop calling me. I had a teammate, George Pardos, I called and told him, call JimJordan and tell him to quit calling me or I'm going to beat his ass. He's throwing us under the bus, all of us. He's a coward. He's a coward. He's not a leader. He's a coward.
Let's move to P. Diddy. I'm not going to show any of the footage because it is just too graphic of him chasing and hitting the artist. Cassie has just discussed him. I have my own little contribution to that. I was staying in a place while I was in Los Angeles at one time, and Cassie was on an apartment above where we were staying. And one day my friend says, there's something going on the 5th floor. We rushed to the 5th floor, And it was quite strange. The door to Cass's apartment was open. Inside, it looked like somebody had literally run backwards, causing all types of mess with super glue attached to themselves. It was a mess. It smelled like 100 weed growers had been inside the room, and she never came back. Never know what actually happened. At the time, I subsequently found out she was in hiding in the building. Personally speaking, I do not understand why the Diddy thing is becoming so politicized. I saw some particular people trying to say that Diddy is being protected by the Democrats. Well, that is garbage. And let's just take one thing. There was one picture of Prince Harry and Diddy. Suddenly, Prince Harry's involved with everything. Yet, how many pictures are there of Trump or Don Shitsy Pants and Diddy? Quite a few. But that makes Biden guilty, even though there were no pictures, no association. But of what happens here with the narrative, those with a political agenda would like to find any single reason to, I don't know, smear President Biden. There's no link. But just to clear things up, Diddy, without a doubt, should be fully investigated and shouldn't have any privileges at all.
Check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy.
The career of Sean P. Diddy Combs, as we know it, it's over. It's over in the worst possible way, one of the worst possible ways you can imagine. Exclusive surveillance video obtained by CNN appears to show the music mogul assaulting his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura at a hotel in 2016. Combs can be seen striking and kicking Ventura as she tried to leave. I have the video right in front of me. We can't show it to you. Remember Ray Rice? This is worse. Beat her, kicked her, grabbed her, dragged her, threw stuff at her. Inexcusable, indefensible. When you see this video, you know what you're gonna wonder? When's he getting arrested? Damn. That's all I have left to say.
Rudy Giuliani, the fall of America's mayor has just been that they've made already Netflix shows about the once mayor of New York, and they're all out of date. How it started, how it's going, and how it's finished. We haven't even got to the end at the moment. He could actually die in jail. I don't really understand how somebody who was so close to the seat of so much power ended up in the way he did. It's incredible. If you go back to Shakespearean times, even Shakespeare could not have... Malvolio! Where are you, Giuliani? Shakespeare couldn't have come up with a drama as crazy as Rudy Giuliani, who is... he's even going to get likely sacked by Newsmax or Newshoax. That's how desperate it is. He had a party and he got served at his own party, by the way. Just putting it out there. Rudy Giuliani is literally, officially, America's fool.
Rudy Giuliani is a disgrace. He has disgraced himself, and it's a shame, right? He went from America's mayor to, having a bad hair dye job, sweating in public, and
that was so gross too,
disgusting. To this joke of being an unmasked singer thing. Like, this is serious business.
Well, tell everybody what his exact crime is.
Yeah, so he's been, they're still investigating it, but he helped incite the January 6th. You remember he said, let's do trial by combat. Right. He was one of the biggest purveyors of the big lie about the fraudulent election. He was out there in the room when Donald Trump, they were talking about seizing voting machines and all that, and allegedly he was like, well, that's too far.
But in New York and
that's right. His law license is suspended. Like, this guy, and he's out there now, he's tackily signing 9/11 memorabilia to raise money and selling it for $900. I mean, how freaking disgraceful. And being in the epicenter of a insurrection in the United States should not be rewarded on a show like that.
Stay in his guest room in his apartment. Page 15. Ms. Dunphy was frightened. She said she wanted to get dressed, unpack, and settle in. She asked for privacy. She said she would meet him in the living room when she was ready, but Giuliani would not leave. He sat on the bed and pulled down his pants. The following screenshot from the film Borat, subsequent movie film, depicts Giuliani acting in a similar manner to how he acted with Ms. Dunphy. And a screenshot from Borat actually appears in this lawsuit, right in the middle of the page, this lawsuit against Rudolph Giuliani. In the
Put down your crumb. She's 15.
So in the comment section below, take some time and put them in order if you were playing judge and jury in terms of who should spend the most time locked up. Here you got Navarro, he's already locked up, Don Shitsy Pantsy, George Santos, said potentially Marjorie Taylor Greene, JimJordan, Steve Bannon. Oh yeah, not forgetting George Santos. George Santos is really FOS. And what is crazy about it is if this had been for one moment a Democrat, it would have been non-stop. But you notice hardly anybody on what I call blue tick Twitter wanted to talk about it. Fox conveniently pushed it to one side. And George Santos is, well, he's still officially a Republican. Just because he's not serving anymore, he was a Republican. And I do believe at the time they were saying, well, innocent until proven guilty. Not that that applies to anybody. I mean, ask JimJordan in terms of Hunter Biden.
Today we meet not to lower the costs of prescription drugs, nor to expand President Biden's infrastructure plan, nor to protect the voting rights of the people, nor to protect the health care choices of women across America, because we know they're definitely not interested in that. No, we meet rather for another stop on the GOP's endless revenge tour against Democrats who dared to tell the truth about Donald Trump and his repeated sellouts and betrayals of the American people over the last 6 years. It's all about Donald Trump tightening his stranglehold over Republicans for the 2024 campaign and driving out anyone who dares to think for himself or herself. But don't take my word for it. Just read Friday's statement by the twice impeached inciter of insurrection, sexual abuser, defamer of women, and indicted pilferer of national security secrets, war plans, and top secret classified documents himself. On Friday, Trump posted this order to his followers and this unveiled threat to anyone who would dare to defy his control over the GOP. Quote, any Republican voting against Adam Schiff's censure or worse should immediately be primaried, he wrote.
But yeah, it's tough. I wish we weren't losing members. We never should have. Frankly, I don't know why we got rid of George Santos and had that special election. George Santos leads voting with Republicans and voting conservative, and he hadn't been charged with any crime, hadn't been convicted of anything, excuse me. But we just keep making it tougher on ourselves, and this is not going to make it any easier.
Recognized. One of my colleagues says, we will hold members accountable. You are the party of George Santos. Who are you holding accountable? The guy is an alleged and acknowledged liar and indicted, and you protect him every day. Don't lecture us with your projection and your defense of Donald Trump. It's pathetic, and it's beneath you, and it's beneath this body, and I yield back.
Couple of interesting things, by the way, with regards to the hush money trial, one of several felonies that former guy is facing. It's very weird. The only person who appears to have been jailed over anything is Michael Cohen. You do notice as well that Anna Weiselberg, who used to be CF at the Trump Organization, also has had his collar felt. Within cable news, within the Fox side of cable news, there's this narrative that it would be good for ratings, probably, and good for Trump if he ended up in Rikers. A lot of the shows are discussing it. I heard Jimmy Kimmel make a very funny joke the other night that he has a plan if Trump goes to prison to commit a crime, so he gets locked up as well next to him. But all joking aside, the one thing I will say, and this is where the politics should be taken out of it, there clearly has been a law for Trump and a law for everybody else, because he has broke his gag order, just done so many other things that if it was you would 100% now be in a orange jumpsuit. So again, just decide in order. You've got all the names. Who for you should have the biggest prison sentence?
Congressman, before I can't let you go without asking you about the bill you filed in Congress in response to this effort to rename Dulles which is an architecturally beautiful airport. I don't care what any of you folks say about it. To rename it for Donald Trump. You introduced a bill to rename a prison in Florida after Trump.
Well, there's a nice federal penitentiary right near Mar-a-Lago. And I just thought, for a guy who's now got 88 criminal indictments pending, plus 2 major civil penalty trials that have already been resolved, costing him about $500 million. I think it's only fitting that if Republicans really want to honor Donald Trump, the most appropriate way to do that is to name a federal prison. He might be visiting soon after Donald J. Trump.
You may get the Trump endorsement for that. I don't think there's a building he wouldn't want his name on.
Congressman Connor, are you going to sign on as a sponsor?
I sign on to almost any bill Jerry Connolly. He's one of the smartest members of Congress.
I love how he said almost. Congressman Ro Khanna of California, Congressman Jerry Connolly of Virginia, thank you both very much for coming to this Sunday show. And coming up.